what I wanted to do is hopefully avoid getting arrested in the future, and avoid being given unlawful orders in the future. I'm not asking you to admit that I was given unlawful orders on my last arrest, but what I am asking is if you can help me identify what the boundaries are on say like a traffic stop or something like that, whether or not an officer has the authority to tell me that, like, or a suspect in a traffic stop, that they're not allowed to talk to somebody else. I've never heard anything like that before, and I didn't respond to it in a very polite manner. The day that I was arrested by Sergeant Simcoe and Sergeant Pepper.
Okay, when were you arrested?
Shoot, I don't even. I'd have to guess. I don't have the paperwork in front of me.
Okay, and you're arrested for I'm assuming for interfering in some way with their investigation.
Yes. Yeah, it was PC 148, obstructing or delaying an officer.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, generically speaking, I've seen some of your videos, and there's obviously no law against videotaping our actions, and I have no problem with you videotaping our actions. What you just need to keep in mind is that you can probably make sure that you don't interfere and that you listen to the officers. If they tell you to get away or to stand a certain distance from them, then I would, if I were you, listen to their orders to avoid any conflict or any kind of issue.
So basically your answer to me is just do whatever they say whenever they say.
That's not what I said.
Well, you're just saying that basically just follow their orders to avoid conflict.
You should not interfere with their investigation.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I don't. So that's not my intention to interfere, but your officers are not the only ones that are conducting an investigation. I'm also conducting an investigation, and at times my investigation I feel is actually more important than say an infraction for some minor petty infraction of the law.
You're entitled to your opinion about what the officers are doing and with the law that's being broken. That's your opinion, if you believe it's petty. We're entrusted by the people of the state of California to enforce the laws, and we're conducting official investigation.
Okay.
Your investigation is not of the same caliber, if you will.
Okay. Can you tell me, do you guys have the authority to tell people that are standing on an open sidewalk that they're not allowed to talk to other people? Have you ever heard of that before, where the officers can say that you're no talking, like people aren't allowed to talk to each other in the vicinity of your officers?
If you're interfering with their investigation, then I wouldn't do that.
Is talking interfering with an investigation? Maybe you need to maybe we need to sit down with the video I have of my arrest, so we can speak specifically. I mean, if I'm standing 3 car lengths away from your officers, and a person that's the subject of a stop speaks to me through their window, I don't see how that's interfering with anything.
Okay, if that's relating to your arrest and you have a complaint against an officer, then certainly I'd like to talk to you, sit down, and we'll investigate that complaint.
Well, see, sir, I don't necessarily have a complaint. I'm just trying to, because no doubt there's going to be traffic stops. It's going to happen again. I'm going to walk down an open sidewalk. There's going to be somebody that's the subject of a stop, and they're going to speak to me, or I'm going to speak to them. And I don't want to have my arm twisted behind my back for it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't...
Let me just tell you this, Daniel. While the officers are conducting an investigation of a car stop, okay, one of the most dangerous incidents an officer can encounter, a person in a car that they haven't searched, that they don't know what kind of weapons they have, they don't know what they're up to, you don't know, and you don't know either.
Okay, I understand that. I agree. I mean, and I don't protest that. I don't.
Finish.
Okay.
And you stop and talk to them. Okay. We don't know what they're telling you. We don't know what involvement you have with them. So that is interfering with our investigation. Okay. So wherever you're standing, if they tell you to move, then I would move. Okay, they're conducting an investigation. I'm not out there. I don't know what they're investigating. I don't know if this is a simple speeding ticket. I don't know if this is somebody that just may have conducted some narcotics transaction. I don't know if it's somebody that's wanted for felony murder. I don't know any of that, and neither do you. So for your safety and for the officer's safety, then I would listen to them.
Let's just assume for a minute that it was a felony murder. If you watch on the news or something, if there's a big case with a lot of media attention, when that suspect comes by the members of the press at times will shout questions or something. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? They don't go to jail for asking a question now, do they?
Is that in the middle of an investigation, or is it after the fact while they're going to court?
Well,
the circumstance. I'm not going to debate these things with you because it's apples to oranges. Okay? What I'm saying is that if at times you drive by, just wait till they're done. Wait till they're done with their investigation and they're on their way. Then go and talk to the guy. If that's what you're looking for.
Well, that's not. It's not always possible. Sometimes when they're done, the people drive away, and I can't control if the person in the car decides to speak to me or if they don't. And if they do speak to me, I have every right to. If you guys want to set up a perimeter, then you need to do that. You can't let somebody walk down an open sidewalk and then arrest them for using or speaking to each other. I think it's ridiculous. I know you're not going to admit that because to do so would admit you guys made an unlawful arrest.
Well, I don't know anything about your arrest, so I can't comment to your arrest at all because I've never seen the report. I've never seen the video. I don't know what evidence there is against you. Okay, that's not for me to decide anyway.
Well, is there?
I'm here to listen to if you have a complaint against the way my officers treated you, the way my officers acted, and I want to know about that. The chief wants to know about that, and that's my job to investigate that. So if you have a complaint against any of our officers, then we will investigate that, and we do every single time.
Okay, well, Mr. Pendergrass, if that's the case, if you guys investigate every single time, I can tell you specifically a time when I tried to file a complaint and you guys refused to call me back. Maybe I could. I don't know that I have a.
Did you make a complaint?
I tried.
Did you fill out a form?
No, I didn't. Yeah. You know, to be honest with you, I don't have any faith in the complaint process. Just based on my past experiences, I assume what's going to happen is the city of Gardena is going to be sued over this, and you and I don't have to talk about it, but I assume that you're going to let your officers know in the future that they shouldn't arrest me for speaking to them, to a suspect, or to anyone else on this planet, because they don't have the authority to tell me not to talk to somebody else. So whether or not you agree on the phone, whether or not you acknowledge, I'm sure that you're going to make it clear to your officers to not arrest me for that reason again.
Well, I can tell you that if you interfere with an investigation my officers are conducting, and they feel the need to arrest you for that violation of law, you're going to get arrested again. So my advice to you is to heed the warnings of the officers. If they tell you to stand at a certain location and to not interfere with their investigation, then I would suggest you follow their orders.
Okay, and Mr. Pendergrass, my advice to you is that you and your department don't give me unlawful orders, and that way you don't get your asses sued and waste taxpayer dollars. Okay, so and we can agree to disagree, but I'm going to assume that we won't have this problem or issue again, and I hope I'm correct.
I hope so too. I hope that I appreciate you taking video, and if my officers are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, then I would hope that you'd bring that to my attention, so that I could correct that behavior, take action against.
Mr. Pendergrass, let me tell you, with all my experiences and with every department and stuff, overall, I have to say that I think your department is probably the most professional. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but every other department has made several unlawful stops of me, and I'm not asking you to admit that your department has ever done that, but my opinion is that has happened far less by your department than every other department. So basically, I'm giving you a compliment. I'm not trying to say that you guys, are. If anything, I think you guys do very well compared to other departments. So.
Well, I appreciate that. I like to think that we do treat people, with respect, and that the officers, act appropriately when they're out there. But that's my job as a lieutenant, and the chief's job, to make sure that if they don't act appropriate, that when we are notified, that we take action. And you could rest assured that we take action if somebody is acting inappropriately. We don't sweep things under the rug. We don't. And our department is very transparent in that. Obviously, there's certain things that we aren't allowed to disclose because of laws that protect the rights of the officers as far as the personnel investigations. But I can tell you that every complaint that comes through this office and to the chief's office is investigated by a lieutenant. Okay. And, if you ever come into the station and you have a complaint that you want to file, I would suggest that there's forms in the lobby, and I think you know where they are.
Yeah, I do.
You fill out that form, and you ask to speak to a sergeant. Nobody else but a sergeant can accept that form, or will accept that form. And anybody that's working the front desk will call a sergeant to you to have you turn the form into them. Okay. And then that'll be forwarded off to a lieutenant to investigate, and it's logged by the chief. So he's aware of every complaint that comes in here, and it's investigated. So nothing's swept under the rug. I hope that you have that faith in us, and I know that other departments are the same. They're required by law to investigate these complaints. I can't speak to other departments' procedures and policies and the way they do things, but all I can speak to is the way we do things in Gardena, and that's how we do it.
Okay, Mr. Pendergrass, I do appreciate you returning my call, and
apologize for not anybody getting back to you, but this is the first time that I've had a message from you. And I just got back after the holiday weekend, and I understand that it's early, but I wanted to get back to you today, so you didn't think that we weren't calling you back.
No problem. I appreciate that, and I look forward to having positive relations with you guys in the future.
I do too. And if this is I don't know if I called your cell phone number or your home phone, but the number that popped up, the 9647, is my direct line.
Okay.
I have a voicemail that's private. If you want to leave me a message, call me. I'm usually off on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So Monday through Thursday, I'm here. Leave a message if you have any questions or concerns. You can call me directly.
Okay. One last thing, if you could maybe let Sergeant Pepper know that my profanity and language was definitely nothing personal. I might have been offended by his orders or whatever, but I certainly could have handled myself more professionally. I had a long 2 weeks in Inglewood trying to get my camera back, and I was just very impatient at the time, and so I don't have any hard feelings towards your officers at all. I just want to let you know that. Maybe you could send the word along to them.
Certainly. We'll pass that along to him. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Daniel, you have a great day and a great week, and if there's anything I can do for you, just give me a call, okay?
Okay, Mr. Pendergrass. Same to you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
Okay, bye.